Hey guys, welcome back to Not Your College Life with Lisa Beals, episode number 59. I'm your host, Lisa Beals. I'm the Midwestern mom, college administrator who's done the college thing myself and put a couple kids through school and realized universities don't make it easy on you or your students. We don't give you a handbook with all the information with the dates on the front and a glossary of terms in the back so that your student only has to worry about classes. Nope. We don't make it that easy on you. So I'm here to bridge that gap for you. So you as a mom, I can give you all the information that you need to coach and guide your student so that you can work instead on developing them into a responsible, productive adult. And you can then reshift your focus to the empty nester syndrome down the road that you deserve. All right, in this week's episode, I am talking about co-ops and internships. The what, the why, and the how. So co-ops and internships, let's just say, what are they, right? So there's co-ops and cooperatives. Let's be clear. I'm not talking about cooperatives. I'm talking about a co-op and employment. Before I forget, I do want to share. I've pinned a bunch of content on my Pinterest board. So if you're a Pinterest person and you don't mind going down the rabbit hole with me, you can go over to my Pinterest board and find this board for episode number 59. And you can see all the information that I used to inform me for this episode. Okay, what is the difference? It's nuanced. So bear with me here. The predominant difference that I have found is a co-op experience is going to be different than an internship in the duration and the depth of knowledge that your student is going to get in that experience. So a co-op is almost like they're going to do the job. They're going to get paid for it in most cases. It's going to be a longer chunk of time. It's not going to be like a 2-week. It's not going to be, a couple hours, 5 to 10 hours a week for a semester. Many times a co-op is going to be full-time employment. So it's going to happen in the summer, or it's going to take the place of traditional classroom learning for an entire summer, for an entire fall or spring term. So what I've seen for co-ops is it tends to extend time to degree for your student, unless they're being very intentional in planning summer classes to make up the difference, or if you had a high achiever and they came into university with 15 to 20 AP credits that got them kind of a semester ahead to start out with. Okay, so the co-op is deeper dive, full-time employment, normally paid. Sometimes not. It's required for their plan of study. Do you know what I mean when I say plan of study? When I say plan of study, I mean it's their requirements that the university has set forth in order for them to check the box and say, yes, Johnny Smith, you have earned the Bachelor of Science in Engineering because you have followed and completed everything on our plan of study. That's what I mean by plan of study. So sometimes an internship is required, sometimes a co-op is required, sometimes it's not. Your student needs to check that out. And what are you going to do if they tell you, I don't know where to look? I'm going to pause for a minute. You're going to ask them, well, where can you look? Who can you ask? Have you Googled it? What have you done to find out what's on your plan of study? Those are good questions. Resist the temptation to do it for them. Now, if you're like me, you're going to find out for yourself so that you can double check them. I was okay with that. I'm okay with that. Trust but verify. I love that motto, trust but verify. So go ahead and do your homework, see what you come up with, and then what do they tell you? What did they learn? Are they vastly different, or are they pretty much the same? And remember, plans of study will change, can change, every academic year. Those fun faculty may decide every year that something new has come up that's really critical to this degree, and so we've got to add this. But your student's contract is based on the semester, academic year that they start in that program, so that they're not always on the hamster wheel trying to keep up with the new requirements. They should be paying attention to the plan of study for the semester they started in that program. If that's confusing and you need help, raise your hand, message me. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to make it harder. I'm here to make it easier. Okay? Internships. So internships can be short, right? You could do a 2-week internship at the end of the term. You could do a 1-week internship full time. Check a box, power through 1 week. We have some programs in my office that it's a 3-semester internship, but you're only working 10 to 15 hours a week. So over the course of 3 semesters, and we were very intentional on planning this out. So the first semester, you were there working with another student who was in their 3rd semester. So you're learning from the person that's been there in their 3rd semester. That person's now getting the opportunity to train someone new. So that's a new skill set that they can put on their resume. 2nd semester, you're there running solo. 3rd semester, you're now training the newbie in there. So we were very intentional in giving this student, even though they were only working 15 hours a week over the course of 3 semesters, they were getting, I think, 6 or 9 credits in their program. And we were giving them orientation, independent thinking, critical skills, event management, communication, social media, and now training and onboarding. I thought it was a pretty comprehensive internship program, if I do say so myself. So again, they are shorter in duration than a co-op. Sometimes an internship will not be paid. I will tell you, I was unable to find any legislation that governs this. But I know faculty for some reason have it in their mind. At least there's some faculty that say if you're getting credit for it, you cannot also get paid. Or if you're getting paid, I can't give you credit for it. That's just a made-up rule. I don't know what difference it makes. I think they get both. I know our co-op programs are 0 credit. Between you and I think it's 0 credit just because they don't want it to add credit hours to the credit hour cap that the feds asked for, right? They want everything to be 120 credits. And so if you do a co-op experience, that's going to add credit hours to your program. Okay, let's let you do a co-op experience, but tie no credits to it. You'll just get a note on your transcript that you've done this co-op experience. And you're going to get paid generally really well for a college student. So there's that. Just put it out there. Okay, so that's the what. I told you about the why, right? Could be on their plan of study. Let me give you a little bit. No. Okay, so that's the what. Here's the where. Where do you find them? Some universities, the one I work at is really good. They actually have an office, co-op office. They have an internship office. That's all they do. They just connect students with employers. So that would be the first place your student should check for either experience, right? Once they decide that they want one, which one do they want? Where can they fit it in their plan of study? Now, how do I get it? Look to see if their university, they should be looking, again, your student should be doing this. Your student should be looking, is there a co-op office, an internship office, job placement office on campus that can help match your student with their internship or co-op desires with an employer? That's the first step. Interestingly, Indeed.com, ZipRecruiter, and Handshake are all websites. I'm linking to these in my show notes. So if you go to lisabeals.com/blog/episode 59, or you could just subscribe to me. You could subscribe to my email list and I'll send you a direct link to my show notes. There's that. Just an option, putting it out there, lisabeals.com. At the top of my webpage, there's a subscribe to stay in touch button. Do that, and I'll send you an email with a link to my show notes every week. Okay, back to the regularly scheduled programming. Indeed.com, ZipRecruiter, Handshake. These are all websites where they post internships and co-op opportunities that your student can look for, okay? The other thing they can do is just do a Google search for companies that fit the market that they're interested in doing a co-op or internship for. You would be surprised. Every company, I'm gonna say every company with air quotes, has a careers or jobs link on their company page somewhere where your student can drill down and look to see what opportunities exist. Okay? And here's something that students are not, I don't know why they're not, and maybe it's just that some of the students that I interact with, they should be using your network. They should be using their network, their aunts and uncles' network, their cousins' network. They're going to land the position based on their own skill set and their own resume and their own interviewing skills. But making that initial connection happens through networking. The sooner they learn and appreciate that, the better off they're going to be. So I think so many times kids have it in their head that I want to get this on my own accord. I want to get this on my own with no help from anybody else. There are not a lot of employers that are going to hire Joe Schmo off the street just because, unless I can hire you for little to nothing salary-wise, and I'm going to just have you make copies, file things, make coffee, something, just to check a box to satisfy potentially a really lucrative client. Maybe that happens. I don't know. Those aren't games that I play. Those aren't games that I engage in. I'm a much more, you get what you earn, you get what you work for. So even though I'm making the connection with you, I'm going to introduce you to someone. What you do with that is on you, Johnny. So help me, help them, encourage them, use their network, use your network, use any network that they have accessible to them. A faculty member, ask them, do you know of a company that would be a great fit for my interests, for my career goals? Why not? Okay, that was the what, that was the where, now the when. So what I found was typically, if your student's interested in a summer co-op or internship, they usually want to start that search in January, no later than March. January to March is ideally when they want to be doing this so that they can secure that position for the summer. So we're talking what? 4 to 6 months ahead of time. If your student is looking to do a co-op in this fall or the spring, just back that up another 4 to 6 months. Back it up. It doesn't matter if it's not summer, right? Just tell them to back it up 4 to 6 months ahead of their plan. I'd much rather your student be proactive and then have to put a pin in it and follow up than be too late and miss an opportunity, right? That's where we're at. And I probably should have been doing this landscape, but that ship has sailed. For the more competitive opportunities, the research that I found showed that they may want to start in November looking for that summer opportunity. Whoa. So I would say 6 to 8 months for a really competitive one. I mean, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Okay, so that was the when. Now the why. Why do an internship or co-op? So I have my personal experience, my personal opinion, and I was happy to see it was validated in the research that I found. So that was good. I'm not just pulling it out of, thin air. So it suggested that an internship can help them realize a bad major choice before they get too far into their academic career, before they've got that piece of paper saying, here you go do it now. Doing an internship at the end of their freshman, sophomore, let's be real, even as late as their junior year is not ideal, but they could get a taste of what that industry's like while there's still time to pivot in their degree to something else, a different concentration, a different major that's somewhat related, but still a better fit based on what they've experienced in that internship. Isn't that a great time to learn it? I'm thinking, yeah. An internship or a co-op can help boost a resume when your student might not have a stellar GPA to sell, right? They could have this internship or co-op experience on their resume and then pull out some of the really strong skills that they've developed or key essential skills that are going to be really relevant to this employer based on that internship or co-op experience that a GPA is not going to translate to. An internship or a co-op could be developing their own network for employment post-graduation. They could have references from those employers when they were students. These people will be able to speak firsthand about their work ethic on the job. How did they learn? How did they interact with others? What was their problem solving skills? Would you consider rehiring them? This is great feedback that is completely different than what a faculty recommendation might give. Okay, here's the how to apply. Your student should have a resume. If they don't have a resume, they need to work on a resume. They should not do it by themselves. They should start a draft, and then they should be working with a department on their college campus to help craft and shape that resume to be the best, most competitive resume with their skill set at the time. They need to get a resume. Not popular, but important, is a cover letter. A custom cover letter for each submission. I do not want your student to change the address and the name in their cover letter. I want them to customize each cover letter for the employer they're looking to send it to. The cover letter should not just regurgitate what's in the resume. The cover letter should concisely pull out the reasons and skills that employer should immediately hire your student based on that. What does your student, this is what I've told other students that I've worked with on this, and I don't work in the career or employment office, but this is what speaks to me as an employer. When I see your cover letter, you should be making it so easy for me to see what is the impact that you are going to provide my organization. What are you delivering me? Is it incredible customer service skills so that I don't have to worry about you honking off a client? Is it incredible organization skills so that I can just hand you a project and you can see it to completion without a lot of babysitting? Are you incredibly tech savvy where you can take a new tool and dig in and learn it and be able to train on it without any hand-holding? The cover letter should be the spoon feeding of why you're the perfect fit to that employer. Oh, here's another one. This was really interesting. When your student saves their cover letter and their resume, they need to be intentional in what they name the file. It shouldn't be draft one. It shouldn't be, I don't know, you guys, it can be ridiculous, right? You've seen it. They've labeled it GM resume Beals, and they've sent that same resume to Chrysler. It should be first name, last name resume. That's my opinion. First name, last name resume. PDF, not a Word doc, because someone can tweak that. You can lose your formatting depending on what version that recipient is going to pull it up in. You could lose your formatting if that person is not using Microsoft products. Make it a PDF. Same thing with your cover letter. Make it easy for the person consuming their information. If they don't have a resume, there was another website that I found. It was really interesting, and it's called Enhancy.com. Again, it'll be in my show notes, Enhancy.com. It's got a number of different kind of templates to choose from, and it's just plug and chug. It prompts you for the content, you fill it in, and then it's formatting it for you. It really was pretty cool. If your students never worked before, it happens, but have them also consider any volunteer work they've done. Scouting, church, Bible school, shelters, whether it's a homeless shelter or a pet shelter, right? That's all opportunities where they can demonstrate their ability to contribute to an organization. So even if they've not had any paid employment, there's still potential for them to think creatively about what skills and opportunities they have participated in the past to help create line items on a resume that an employer will be interested in seeing. Your student should also set up a LinkedIn account. I don't know how critical this is, but it was recommended on a lot of sites that I looked into. So definitely, it's not going to hurt. Have them create a LinkedIn account, get a professional headshot. They don't have to pay to get this done. Go to YouTube. There are so many social media experts out there telling you how to craft your own headshot for your LinkedIn profile, right? It should not be you cropped from a family picture, right? You should not just pull your head out of a family picture and put it on your LinkedIn. There are ways to do it. Be intentional, put themselves together, get a nice kind of generic background, some decent lighting, some decent clothing, and get a headshot out there. It's not that complicated. Okay. And then the co-op most definitely should be connected to their career choice. The internship may or may not end up being in line with their career choice because it may inform them of the need to pivot. So that's a bit of a distinction when they're looking for a co-op versus an internship, okay? Other things to consider. These are kind of bonus things that your student just needs to be mindful of, right? And I think these are like duh, but I can't let them go unsaid. Social media audit. You should do it. Your student should do it. Google themselves. Google their name. What comes up? Review their social media. Because I may not be allowed, I'm not supposed to do it, but who doesn't Google someone? I want to see what's out there. What kind of ridiculousness is tied to your name on a Google search that may or may not be detrimental to my company if I hire you? Do a social media audit, do a Google audit on your name. First name, last name, maybe even include your middle name or if you have a nickname that you go by, do a search on that. See what comes up. If you find something really interesting, let me know. I will tell you. I did a Google search on my husband, and do you know there is someone out there with his same name, not shocking, but he's a high school basketball star in Illinois, I think. I don't know. Pretty interesting. I rarely see people with my name. My name's kind of unusual. Not that I'm a special snowflake, but funny fact. Do you guys do this? I have Google alerts set up for my name, my husband's name, my kids' names. And when they were younger, I would have their boyfriends, whoever they were dating, I had their names set up in a Google alert so that if somebody made the news or social media, or if they made a Google page somewhere, I was alerted to it. But that's where we're at. All right. And then last thing that is a duh, but I'm going to say it, is your student should practice their interviewing with you, with someone from school, with a friend, with a roommate. Their first interview should not be with the hiring manager. I'm just going to, you get better with practice. There are questions that you just need to think and talk out the first time with someone you know and trust, and not the potential hiring person. Okay? I'm just saying. All right. There you go. Internships and co-ops. What's the difference? When to look for them? How to find them? What things you consider? All the stuff. All right. Share this with your student if you think this would be helpful to them. Do me a favor. Share it with a friend. You got a sis out there who's got kids going through school. This would be helpful. Let them know I'm here to help. And tag me. Tag me in the post and let me know that you enjoyed this episode. I'd appreciate it. All right, you guys, until next week, I will talk to you then. Take care.